Oh, baby. Remington extension tubes. This first variation we have in the collection, I've never seen this version before. This is the only one I've ever seen. I assume this is the original, the first two-shot extension Remington came out with that only accommodates 2 3/4. When you compare it to this modern two-shot that will accommodate 3-inch shells, you see that it's considerably shorter, and it has no barrel bracket. I really don't know. That's just my assumption. I'm not a Remington expert, and I didn't work for Remington Arms. So if you know more about this subject, put it in the comments below. I'd like to learn more, and I'm sure everyone watching would like to learn more. We're also going to weigh each one of these so you can see which one is right for your shotgun. This old two-shot is 4.7 ounces, where this modern two-shot accommodating 3-inch shells with the barrel bracket and sling attachment is 6.8 ounces. It's considerably heavier. And here we have the 3-shot extension from Remington with a barrel bracket but no sling attachment. That being said, it weighs 7.7. So you're probably asking yourself, what's this up here for? This is an attachment that is inserted in the end of the tube and then welded, and it does add a little bit of extra weight. So the question is, what is that for exactly? These Remington extension tubes were manufactured to accommodate a military contract. That reduced diameter at the end is meant to fit an M16 bayonet ring. And then, of course, at the rear, you got to have a bayonet lug to lock it together. So Remington started manufacturing this M1 bayonet adapter and made it available only to the government. So as a result, they're extremely expensive. I don't have one in my collection, unfortunately. But if I did, I'd probably have to pay around $500 for it, because that's what they cost when I see them. Just super expensive. Moving on to this variation, I assume this is a Remington factory extension as well. It doesn't have the indentation in the tube to accommodate the barrel support, but it is the same length as the modern two-shot. But instead of just rolling this wall over, they roll pinned a heavy ring on the end. It just begs the question, why would you do that? That just adds a lot of extra weight. That one weighs 4.8 ounces. Well, this one is our first aftermarket. This one's manufactured by a company called Chote tool. And you see how they're using a plastic end cap and they just rolled the wall over. That would have made a lot more sense if you weren't intending to put a bayonet on this. Their bottom ring is not removable like Remington's are. Let's see what it weighs. Well, that's 4.0. That's probably going to be our lightest extension tube in this collection. This one here is also a Chote tool, but it has a different ring at the bottom. The weight of the ring is probably very similar, but they bothered to serrate it in a different way. And then, of course, it has a barrel ring or a barrel support. Without the barrel support, it's 4.5, so it is a little heavier. A ½ ounce heavier than the first one there. And then the barrel support is 2 ounces. Boy, that's heavy. Here is a third Chote tool variation. But this is a 3-shot, of course, and it has the same knurling or serrations pressed into the ring. Let's see what this weighs. This weighs 5 ounces. So with a barrel support ring, that's going to be 7 ounces. This one is also a Chote tool, but it has a very different ring, and it looks like that ring is a lot lighter. It's not. It's also 5 ounces, but it certainly does look a little shorter. It's interesting. All right, so here's another one. And the end there is steel instead of plastic. These other 4 were all plastic. But it is a Chote tool manufactured in Bald Knob, Arkansas. And that ring, that bottom ring is very different, but with a steel plate on the end. I wonder if this is going to be heavier than the last 2. Nope, it's lighter. That's going to be our lightest 3-shot. That's interesting. Here's another one with a steel end cap. No sticker on it, but it has a very similar ring. Let's see what this one weighs. 5.1. Wow. Added a little bit extra weight there. Now this one looks like it has the same ring. I don't know if these are still Chote tools or not, but the end of this one is very different. It's not at all like the other Chote tools where it's rounded over and then a plate is inserted from the inside. That one, this end plate is a little bit thicker than these right here, but it seems to have the same ring. But I doubt this will accommodate 4 shots of 3-inch. I think this is old enough that it's probably a 4-shot for 2 3/4 only. 5.4. Wow. All right, this one here doesn't look like a Chote tool at all, and again, it has a heavy plate welded to the end, and that one is threaded to accommodate a sling attachment. The knurling at the end is very crude, and the welding of the ring is very crude as well. All right, let's see what this one weighs. Oh, 5.9. I thought that would be heavier. Now this one is a 3-inch, or I'm sorry, a 3-shot as well. But the thickness of the steel here is considerably thicker. You can tell that it's heavier, and the ring is heavier than all the ones prior. Wow, 7 ounces. Yeah, that's considerably heavier than the Chote tools. This one here is the same variation, but in a 2-shot. 6.1. Wow, yeah, that's a lot heavier than the Remington 2-shots. Now here's another 2-shot that's I just don't recognize it at all. I don't know where this came from. The quality though looks really nice, better than any of the ones that we've looked at prior. There's no hole on the end and no markings, but you can tell just by feeling it that it's considerably thicker steel than most of the earlier ones, thicker than the Chotes or the Remington. And that knurling is cool too, that pattern. And notice this ring. I wonder if that's there to attach a sling attachment. This one weighs 6.1. Wow, that is heavy. And that brings us to Scattergun Technologies out of Nashville, Tennessee, or at least they used to be. This one's got a heavy piece of steel welded in the end. And the thickness of the tube is very robust. This is a very quality extension tube. Certainly the better of all the ones we've looked at. This one weighs 7.8, 7.6, 7.8. Wow, that's the heaviest extension tube in a two-shot we've looked at today. And that brings us to this one. This is also a Scattergun Technologies. But why is that so short? I mean, that's only accommodating one extra round. Well, that is meant to fit on a 14-inch barrel. So all these extension tubes, of course, you don't want them extending out past the end of the barrel. So many of these 3-shots are meant to accommodate a 21-inch barrel. Like this Remington here is going to fit a 21-inch barrel. With rifle sights, that's mostly what you see those on. These 2-shots are going to accommodate an 18.5-inch barrel. This snubby is going to fit a 14-inch barrel that's meant for law enforcement only. Or if you happen to get NFA paperwork. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you got any questions, comments below.